Good afternoon, everyone. So today's session is about the options, what courses can you study, and we'll also discuss the different types of colleges, the broad categorization of colleges. So that will be our agenda for today. So these are some of the most common or most popular programs for engineering. So how many of you want to go for engineering? How many of you interested in engineering? Rachit, Harsh, Sarah. Okay, right. So these are the most popular ones, right? Chemical engineering, computer, civil, electrical. So these are common. You know that. Biomedical engineering is a really up and coming field in the US. So it entails courses such as bioinstrumentation, bioinformatics. It is a mix. It is a combination of like life sciences and medical related instrumentation. It's a very very interesting field. Mechanical engineering, again, all of you know, and aeronautical engineering. These are some of the most popular engineering programs, right? There are also lots of other programs related to engineering, but these are the top 6-7 programs. For business, so these are the programs: economics, finance, international business, marketing, accounting, operations management. So management and organizational behavior is what we call HR in India, right? So these are some of the popular programs, popular specializations if you want to do a bachelor's degree in business in the US, right? So anybody who wants to go for the business studies? Anything related to business? Okay. Right. Okay. So even science, commerce and humanities students, so obviously commerce students, if you are in class 11, 12, if you are in commerce, then obviously you can do these programs. But even if you are in science or humanities, if you have maths, then you can pursue this. So even if you are a science student, you are eligible to apply for business now. Even if you are a humanities students, you are eligible to apply for business studies. So it's not that only commerce students can apply for business studies. These are the programs for sciences, pure sciences. If you see, computer science in India, computer science is considered an engineering program, but in the US, computer science is considered to be a pure sciences program, right? So the advantage of that is that you don't have to be in the science stream now, to pursue this. So even if you are in the commerce 11, 12, if you have commerce or if you have humanities with maths, you can now do computer science, right? So that's the advantage of having computer science as a part of science and not engineering. Okay, anybody here wanted to go for any of the sciences programs? Anyone? Okay, that's great. So anyone here who is in commerce or humanities in 11, 12 but would like to pursue computer science at bachelor's level? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, great. For humanities, the US has a lot of options for humanities. The number one program there, the most pursued program of humanities is psychology. Then English includes both English literature and creative writing, so any type of English. International relations, history, politics, journalism, geography. These are some of the top humanities programs that students pursue in the US. How many of you want to pursue a humanities degree? Anybody here? Liberal arts, humanities, anybody interested? Even if you are not interested, you can do that. Everybody, people in science stream or commerce or humanities, everybody can pursue humanities related courses. So some of you were here last time, right? So those of you who were here last time, can you answer this question? Let's say that you are in commerce now, and you want to do a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. You want to apply for a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering in the US, right? So is that possible? Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. You can do something totally different and unrelated as well, right? So the trick is that you apply for an undecided bachelor's degree. So you do not have to choose your major till the beginning of your third year, right? So even if you are, let's say you are currently in humanities, but you want to do a civil engineering, that is also possible, right? All you have to do is that you apply for an undecided undergrad degree. In the first 2 years of your bachelor's degree, take mechanical engineering, a lot of engineering related courses, take maths, take physics, you can take those courses. And by the time you are ready to start your third year, you will have enough credentials or enough courses to do a mechanical engineering major. So those of you who did not get into science or did not get into commerce and you are forced to do something else, it's not the end of the story, right? Now you can use the bachelor's degree in the US to go and pursue something that you really want to do. So even switches such as science student doing psychology, or like commerce student doing biology, all these things are now possible, right? The US bachelor's degree allows you to do this kind of changes, this kind of switches, right? Anybody has any questions? Anybody has any particular course that you are interested in? So Rachit is computer science and engineering, okay. Harry mechanical, how about geology? That's a really interesting course, geology. A lot of students combine geology with a petroleum engineering degree, so that will be really interesting. So Harry's question is, can I start that and then move to something else? Yes, you can do that. Actually US universities give you the option of doing majors and minors. So you can major in, let's say, geology and end up doing a minor in petroleum engineering. I had a friend who had that combination, major in geology with a minor in petroleum engineering. So so those kind of possibilities are there, right? Yes, not Habo, they are not called certificates. You get your bachelor's degree mentions both as your major. So your bachelor's degree will say BS, which is Bachelor's of Science, Bachelor of Science in let's say economics and psychology, so whatever majors you do in, so that will be mentioned in your bachelor's degree, right? Okay, any questions? Yes, Rachit, you can take economics in your minors. So you can take any program, as your major and minor. But if you do not come from that background, let's say you are a science student, now you want to do a major in economics, let's say. So in your first year or in the first 2-3 semesters, you will have to take enough macroeconomics, microeconomics courses to make you eligible to take economics as your major. So that is the only thing. Okay, anybody else wants to do any other kind of program? Yes, Habo, your minors also get reflected, transcripts. Of course, your majors as well as minors they get reflected in your degree as well as in your transcripts. See, Abhishek, your question is, can I do a graphic engineering course and then do MBA? First of all, anybody and everybody can do an MBA. That happens after your bachelor's degree. I am talking about doing double major in your bachelor's degree itself. So you can, in your bachelor's degree itself, you can do a major in graphic designing and probably another major in related to business management, right? So you can do that. And anybody and everybody can do an MBA later on. So you do the MBA after you finish your bachelor's degree, right? Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, so any other programs that you are interested in? Anybody? So somebody asked questions about prerequisite. So as I said, to be able to do a major in a certain subject, certain course, you have to take some basic foundation level courses which are called prerequisites or prereqs. So those, a lot of students anyway take those, so that's not a problem. So Sarah, Harsh, Abhijit, any questions? What kind of programs do you want to do? Tasneem? So even if you now see, now let's say you apply for your bachelor's degree right now, when you apply for your bachelor's degree, let's say that you apply for computer science, CSE, you apply for computer science, or you apply for automobiles designing. So you can change it after 1 year or after 2 years. You don't even have to continue with it. What if you go to the US, you start your bachelor's degree and then you realize that you want to do something else? I had a student who went for computer science, then after first year he changed to a math plus economics major, so double major in math and economics. So he went there on computer science engineering, ended up doing a double major in math and economics, right? So just because you are saying right now at the point of application you apply and go for a certain major does not mean that you do that. You can change it, right? Any other questions on the different options, different degree or course options? So you can do dual degrees also. That means a BBA slash BS degree, that is or BA slash BS degree, which is a bachelor's of arts as well as a bachelor's of science degree. So those are called dual degrees. You can do that as well. But a bachelor's of science degrees, it helps because then you fall under something called STEM. Then your degree will be called STEM, and within STEM you get to stay in the US for 3 years after your bachelor's degree. So if you have to decide between doing a BA degree and a BS degree, I would strongly advise you to go for a BS degree, right? So Abhishek's question is, will math studies being my subject in IB affect my BBA in finance course? No, it will not. It will not affect, Abhishek. Rachit, your question is, will dual degree program increase my chances in getting university? No, it has nothing to do with your getting admission in the university. It is about being your employability after your bachelor's degree. Ultimately you are going to the US to do a bachelor's degree. After that probably you want to work there, right? Or maybe you want to go for an MBA, or maybe you want to go for a master's degree. So it helps with the future, right? So Rachit, if you want to be an entrepreneur, so it always helps to have some kind of work experience before you start your own business. So anyway, if you have to decide between a BA and a BS degree, so for example economics, BS economics is also available, BA economics is also available. I advise you to choose BS because of the word science here. Because of the word science, your degree is designated as a STEM degree. That means a degree under the category of science, technology, engineering and mathematics, right? And in STEM, all degrees that are designated as STEM, you get to stay in the US for 3 years after your bachelor's degree. So you can work in you can work in the US for 3 years beyond your bachelor's degree, right? So you get a work permit literally for 3 years, right? So that helps those of you who want to work in the US after your bachelor's degree. Okay, so once you start applying, keep this in mind, keep this thing in mind. Any questions, anybody till now? Okay, now we'll talk about different types of universities, right? So in the US you would get broadly 2 types of universities. It's called public and private. Private universities, public universities. So what's the difference between private and public? So private means it is the university funds itself, the university is self-funding. Public means it is funded by the government to some extent, maybe 50% funding from the government, maybe 100%, maybe 80%. So some percent of funding comes from the government. So that is called public university. And private university are universities that fund themselves, right? Unlike India, in India, when all good colleges are public or government universities, whether it's an IIT or Delhi University, all good colleges and universities in India are government universities, right? Are government colleges. Private colleges are not supposed to be that good. But in the US, there is nothing like that. private and public only means that it is just the usage of term public versus private, right? Some of the best universities in the US are private, like your Harvard, MIT, Yale. Everybody knows these universities, right? They're all private universities. But there are good universities in public also, like UC Berkeley, UCLA, Georgia Tech. All of these are public universities. So in the US, private and public does not reflect the quality of the university at all. It just reflects one thing, the type of funding it has, right? Private is funded by these are self-funding universities. Public are the universities that are funded by the government. That's all. Okay. Now you probably see that I have divided into 4 categories: top private, top public, mid-end private, and mid-end public, right? What's the difference? Now see, in top private, now the private universities, they give a lot of they give scholarships. In private universities in general, the scholarships or the funding available to students is far higher in private universities than in public universities, right? So in this top private, so there are scholarship available. In fact, in colleges such as Harvard, MIT, Yale, you can get up to 100% scholarship, right? So in private, lots of scholarships available, right? Because they are private, that they are not government funded. In public universities, for scholarships and all, domestic students, that is American students, are given preference over international students. Okay, so now this UC Berkeley, UCLA, so the preference for scholarships or funding will be given to the American students, and then you, because you are international students. So private and public, they are without scholarship, they are equally expensive, but in the top private ones, you have chances of getting scholarships even up to 100%. So if you are in a financial crunch, but your scores, SAT scores, everything is excellent, then you should be applying to the top private colleges, and probably not to the top public colleges, right? Because here you may get admission, but you will not get you will not get scholarship, right? Everybody clear about the differentiation between a top private and the top public college? So Harry, your question is, what will happen if you apply to both? Or you can, if you want, you can apply to both. But let's say you do not have the, you cannot afford UC Berkeley. So what's the point in applying? You will not get scholarship there, right? But Stanford or these colleges, even though the fees are equally high, but they give a lot of scholarships. So there you have a chance of getting this scholarship. Here you don't. So if you have the money, if you can afford, then you can apply to, you should apply to both. But if you do not have the funds, but you are an excellent student, then you should be your chances of getting admission as well as scholarship better in top private universities. Okay. However, have you seen the quality of these colleges? Harvard, MIT, Yale, UCLA, UC Berkeley, these are extremely difficult to get into. Extremely difficult to get into. So if you want to go to these top colleges, whether private or public, does not matter. If you want to go to these 2 category of colleges, then you should definitely have a 1450 kind of score. Or SAT. With less than 1450, it will be extremely difficult to get admission, irrespective of what the rest of your profile looks like. The competition is that tough. The competition is very, very, very tough, right? So if you are thinking of applying to these 2 categories of top colleges, you have to try to get a minimum 1450 in your SATs, right? In your SAT exam, irrespective of how good the rest of your profile is. Okay, everybody clear? So everybody is going to get at least 1500. How many of you are going to get 1500? Great, Rachit. I like your confidence. Great. I am glad to see your confidence. You should actually target 1600 out of 1600. If you target 1600, then you might end up getting 1520, 1530, right? So in your mock test and all, just do target 1600. It is very possible, students get 1600. If you target 1600, then your probability of getting a 1500 increases. But if you target a 1550, or you target a 1500, then you will probably get a 1400 plus. So your target should always be 1600. Right. Okay. Okay, Rachit, I would not comment on that. There are 8 official tests available of College Board. Take those. Their scoring will be a better indicator. So on the College Board website, there are 8 full-length tests. So the 8 full-length tests came out only, I think, last week. So there are 8 full-length official tests on the College Board website, right? Take those tests. The scoring is far more realistic, right? And far closer to the actual SAT. Have you guys, those of you who are targeting the May SAT, have you taken all the 8 full-length tests on the College Board website? Okay, so the May SAT people, you need to take the 8 full-length tests, right? Start, and if you are running out of time, then start in reverse order. Do test number 8 first. Let's say that you have only you have only less than a week now, and you have not done any full-length test yet. Then instead of doing from test number 1, I would recommend that you start with test number 8. So Abhishek, Khan Academy is the same as College Board. The full-length test, the link is there on Khan Academy as well. So there are 8 full-length tests. If you are taking the May SAT and if you have not done any of the full-length tests, I recommend that you start today. Start with test number 8. They will do 8, then number 7, then number 6. Don't start with number 1. Okay? Anybody here who is taking the SAT in May and has not taken a full-length test at all? Okay, Habo, you need to get going. Take your first full-length test tomorrow. Start with SAT test number 8. Okay. Let's not digress. So we are done with this category of colleges. Now the next, right? The mid-end private and the mid-end public. They are again equally good colleges, right? They're equally good colleges. The mid-end public, they're far cheaper and quite affordable. In terms of quality of education, they are as good as the mid-end private, but they are far cheaper and very affordable. Mid-end private, again, they may be expensive, but remember, you still have got your scholarship chances. They give far more scholarships. But now when you enter this category, it's a little difficult now. The top mid-end public are cheaper, but you will probably not get scholarships. The mid-end private are expensive, but you may get scholarships. So it's a now different ball game. So here you should apply to a mix of colleges, and then go to the one that fits you best, either in terms of quality of college or in terms of budget. Okay, understand the difference? So Harsh will probably go on for another 15-20 minutes. So everybody clear about the mid-end private and mid-end public and how it's different from the top private and top public? So if you see in the mid-end public, you have got good colleges like Penn State, Ohio State, Wisconsin Madison, Purdue, Texas A&M. So these are like, these are cheaper colleges, good cheap colleges, but again, you will probably not get any scholarship. And in the mid-end private, they are expensive, but you may get some scholarship. So that's a different thing. And now for this category of colleges, here in this category, remember I told you that you you absolutely have to try to get a 1450, right? These first 2 categories, at least 1450. Here now your profile comes into play, right? Here the SAT score will depend on what your academics are like, what your rest of the profile is like. So here your score requirement can vary from a 1300 to 1450, depending on the rest of your profile. So Harry, your question is okay. First of all, I don't think we are capturing your email IDs. So I'm not sure I'll be able to send you the presentation, But we are going to have a website, web page with the recorded videos of this webinar, so you can probably check that out. Okay, so our next webinar is next Saturday, so right after your SAT exams, actually, so it's a next Saturday. So by that time our website will be up. Okay. So okay, Tasneem, you can't hear. Maybe it's a problem with your internet, Tasneem. So any questions till now? Harry, when we'll send you the invite for the next webinar, we'll have the link of the website, link of the web page rather, where the recordings will be available. So this is our third webinar. So the recording of the previous two and this one, the links will be there in the email invite that we send you for the webinar on next Saturday. So now, how do you know whether a college is private or public? How will you know? Any idea? One indication is that, one very easy indication is that, if the name of the college has the word state, yeah, Google, of course, Sandeep, good. You can always Google and find out. I mean, Wikipedia, of course, you can always do that. But otherwise, one easier thing is that if the name of the college has the word state, like Ohio State, Penn State, so any university that has the word state in it, that is a public university, guaranteed for sure, right? For rest of it, as Sandeep has rightly said, you can always Google, right? So and I mean Wikipedia, or you can even go to the university website. So the information is clearly given whether it's a private university or public university. To keep these things in mind when you shortlist universities, have a word with your parents to understand what the budget is, because it's your parents will have the budget, of course. Depending on that, make sure that you target the right category of college. So Abhishek, your question is, can you give information about universities in Singapore? Okay, Singapore, there are only 3 good universities. The first university is called National University of Singapore. Second is called Nanyang Technological University, and third is called Singapore Management University. So if you are looking for business related courses, that you will find those in all the 3 universities. If you are looking for science related or engineering related programs, then you will not find those in Singapore Management University. Okay, of these 3, NUS and NTU are like far better. SMU, or the Singapore Management University, is comparatively newer university, so it does not have as good a brand name or as the other 2. But if you get admission on NUS or NTU, it will be like really good. So Abhishek, you can try to like NUS and NTU are good options, but there's one big what you can say criteria in the Singapore universities, that they need very high academic percentage. So 85, 86% is the absolute minimum percentage that you should have. So Singapore universities are extremely competitive, right? So whether you are applying for business or engineering, you need to have a minimum 85% in your class 10, class 11, Even then, Rachit, even if you are from the state board, their percentage cutoffs are it's the same, whether it's a CBSE board or whether it's the state board, it's the same. So in terms of IB points, you should 35ish is what what you should target. So Singapore University, the main admissions criteria is the academics. That's the main admissions criteria. Unlike the US universities, they look at both your academics and SAT score. But Singapore universities, if you do not have good academics, then nothing else matters, right? No, you do not need to convert your state board percentage to GPA for US. You do not have to do any type of conversion. So Harsh, you can of course target the UK universities as well. They do not need SAT though. So for UK, you need to have really good academic record. You know, that's it. They don't need SAT. So Rachit, you are planning to take SAT subject test, maths level 2 and physics. So that's great, you know. So if you are applying for engineering programs, then it will really help. You can take the subject test in June, you know. The subject tests are going to be offered in June. The regular SAT does not happen in June, but subject tests you can take in June. And if you are taking the subject test, you know, so again, in all these top universities, whether it's a Harvard or MIT, you know, having a subject test score will increase your chances of admission. Even UC Berkeley, all these colleges, if you have a subject test score, it will increase your chances of admission. But if you are taking a subject test, then just you have to get at least 700 out of 800. If you are taking the SAT subject test and you do not have a minimum 700 score, then it sends a very negative impact, right? Can you hear me now? Is it fine? Okay. So as I said, you know, if you are targeting colleges in these two categories, top private and top public, then to increase your chances of admission, you must take a couple of SAT subject tests. Each SAT subject test is out of 800 and you have to get at least a 700, right? So if you are choosing to take an SAT subject test, make sure that you get at least a 700, right? On top of the SAT. Yes, SAT, you know, the one out of 1600, that is mandatory anyway, you know. By the way, have you, any of you, are you planning to take the AP? Are you taking AP? Advanced Placement Course subjects? Okay, you should plan to take some APs, you know. It will again improve your profile a lot. It will improve your chances of getting admission. So APs happen around May, you know. So so you should take, even after you have like, you know, even after you have applied and all, you can still take a couple of APs, you know. Maybe calculus or whatever you have decided to study, you know, take a couple of APs. It helps your academic record. It helps your chances of, it improves your chances of getting admission. So Sandeep, your question is, do state universities require SAT subject test? No, they don't. So this category of colleges, so state means the public. Okay, the public ones, some of these, the top universities, whether they are public or private, you know, if you have SAT subject test, your chances of admission increase. Only in the top, right? Rest of it, you know, even if you don't take, it's okay. Right, Sandeep? Does it answer your question? Can you hear me? So it's simple, you know. Any top university, whether it is public or private, to improve your chances of admission, you should plan to take at least 2 SAT subject tests and, if possible, take 1 or 2 AP. So that's it, 2 subjects enough. 2 SAT subject tests are enough. And try to take a couple of APs also. So anyway, I think, you know, a lot of you have to go. So I don't want to, you know, extend it further. So if you have, so we'll meet next Saturday. So if you have any questions, you know, you can always email us at this ID. So Rachit, do one thing, you know, you have this email ID, right? So drop in an email that you want to have, so we'll have a word with you, right? So anybody, if you want to talk to us about anything, you can drop an email and schedule a call, right? Give a time or you know, a day, a time that is you know, convenient for you. Of course, when I say time, don't say 10 PM in the night, obviously, you know. Give a reasonable time and day, and just we'll schedule your, you know, call. All the best, guys. Have a great evening.